Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Sunday Morning Drives. Today we have a lovely looking car. This is a special Audi.
Yes.
It's a RS4, but this is not our standard RS4. This is the RS4 Competition.
Yes, the competition.
So it's a special version, the top of the line version for the RS4.
Yeah, so it's still got the same horsepower and torque as the standard RS4, which is 444 horsepower and 600 Newton meters of torque. It's running the 2.9 litre V6 bi-turbo, and it has an 8-speed automatic transmission, and obviously Audi's Quattro four-wheel drive system. The difference with the competition is that it has coilover dampers, adjustable coilovers.
All the carbons.
And all the carbon and bucket seats on the interior.
Bespoke wheels.
Yeah, different wheels, one-piece aluminium apparently. So we're going to show you around this car and show you all the different features of the RS4 Competition and see how it drives.
All right, let's quickly look at the outside of the RS4 Competition. It's got all these carbon fiber bits and pieces all around the car, from the front splitter to the side panel and also the side mirror. What I like about these carbon is like they are all matte finish, and they matched everything really well.
Yeah.
So all of them are matte finish. So over in the front, you can see there are a lot of openings, a lot of grills, and they're all functional. Over here as well, there's a cooler inside here, and on the right hand side as well, this is functional. And we have these openings over here to allow air to go through to the wheel arch. Over here you can see there's a opening here, so air would escape from here to reduce the front face drag.
Yes.
Over here there is a vent here as well. I believe it's functional.
It looks functional.
Yeah, there's an opening that goes somewhere. These lights look pretty amazing. Audis are always well known for designing their lights really, really well. I also quite like how they put the Adapt Cruise sensors on either side, because some of these cars nowadays have a very large sensor in the middle.
Yeah.
Which doesn't look really good.
And some of them are offset as well.
Exactly.
On one side. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this actually makes the car looks quite good.
Yeah.
Almost like fog lights on the sides,
Yes.
right? And we've got 6-piston calipers in the front with drilled discs. And this is a square setup. So we have 20-inch wheels on all four corners, and they are all 275/30 R20s. What's different with the competition is they did upgrade the suspension. It's a special suspension just for the competition. So it's a coil over setup where you can change the rebound setting and also the ride height. There is actually a toolbox at the rear which you can use the tool to adjust the ride height. So with this car, what Audi Giltrap has done is lowered it to the lowest setting. So you can see that it's really, really low. The tire is almost touching the fender. It gives the car a very, very nice stance and a sports car-like feel. This is what makes the competition different from the standard cars.
Wow.
So these are the tools that you can use to actually adjust the ride height of the suspension.
And the rebound.
And this is for the rebound.
Yeah.
This is a aftermarket milltek exhaust that the dealership has fitted, but they are pretty OEM looking in terms of the size and the shape. Look very similar to the OEM exhaust. But unfortunately, this is not real. This is not functional. This is only decorative. You can see down here, it's got a pretty prominent fins over here and here that guides air from the bottom of the car out to give it more downforce. Obviously, the rear lights are all LED and they light up pretty nicely at night.
What I love about these RS cars is the oversized fenders. Yeah, you can see the car's really, really aggressive, and the fenders are much wider than a standard A4.
All right, looking at the boot space. This is what makes these station wagons really useful, isn't it? It's quite wide, quite deep, very, very functional and very practical.
And the opening is huge. Look at the size of the opening.
Very big. There is actually a spare tire.
It's huge. Look at the size of the spare wheel.
Quite surprising, actually.
Yeah.
But I think it's good, though.
It is.
I mean, how much weight can you save with a spare tire, right?
No, not much.
But this is much safer if you go, like, I don't know, on a road trip or whatever.
Yeah.
If you, you know, puncture your tire, you can always change it and just keep going, right?
Yeah.
So this is the fuel cap. You open like this. If you come closer, you can see there's a RS badge on the cap, which is a nice detail.
Yes.
And also this runs on minimum 95, but recommended 98.
Yes. All right, let's talk about the engine bay. It's a very compact engine. It's a very short block, so that's really cool. And you can see all the stainless steel piping that goes into the induction system, goes through the turbo system. And you can also see the rebound adjust for the dampers up here. And what's interesting is that the dampers seem to be on an angle, so they're not going straight up and down. Obviously 2.9 litre bi-turbo V6, that's carried over from the pre-facelift.
What's the output?
So 444 horsepower, 600 newton meters of torque. I'm pretty sure you can tune that up quite a bit as well. So the very first thing you'll notice about the competition is that it comes standard with these really nice looking bucket seats. They're very, very supportive. Look at the size of the bolsters here, it's massive. There's some really nice details here with the RS badge in the middle of the seat. There's these holes for harnesses, if you want to use harnesses on this car as well, which, hey, you know, some people might do, honestly. And there's some really nice detail on the seat belt as well with
that's really nice.
RS color, very, very nice. Actually, I really like that. That's really cool. And you also notice that there's a lot of carbon fiber on the interior. So this all, again, comes with the competition package. So you've got carbon fiber in the center console here. You've got carbon fiber on the dash here. You've got carbon fiber on the doors. So there's quite a lot of extra carbon fiber and extra really nice interior trim on the inside.
Also Alcantara, right? You've got Alcantara here.
Yeah, exactly.
Alcantara on the seats.
Alcantara steering wheel. Even the shifter is in Alcantara. Look at that. Very nice.
Wow, that's really nice.
And the
I
RS
wish this could be Alcantara.
So on the steering wheel, it's a really nice steering wheel, by the way.
Very nice.
It's really nice to hold. It's Alcantara. It's not too thick as well, which is cool. And also, surprisingly, not very many buttons on the steering wheel for a brand new car, which is nice. The paddles here are made of metal, which is good. So you can actually feel a bit of metal on your hand. And, you know, obviously you can use that for changing gear.
Is there a clicking sound?
Unfortunately, there's just a very... there's also a really nice screen here in the middle to show you what's going on with your climate control. And I love how Audi does this. As soon as you put your hand or your finger on here...
That's so good.
It shows you all the different options, so you know exactly what you're doing, which is really, really cool. So that's really good. I really like the climate controls. You've got the heated seats here as well, which is also a nice feature. Even with the bucket seats, you get the heated seats. The center screen here is amazing. Honestly, the center screen is one of the best things about this car. At the moment, we've got it on the sat-nav view. It's so clear, it's so bright, and it updates really, really fast. It's a real joy to use. All right, so we're just going to show you some of the views in the center screen here. So if you press the RS button, that's the only button that really changes the view itself. If you press that, then it goes into sort of a more track specific view where you can see the rev meter is in the middle and you can see the G meter on the side and you can see your power and torque percentages, so that's pretty cool. And then if you press the RS button twice, then you go back into the normal mode, and then you can click on these buttons on the left hand side to zoom in on the view. So for example, here on the GPS view, you can zoom in and make it full screen, or you can change the view in the middle with the left and the right buttons here, so you can focus on, you know, other things. All right, so we're going to have a look at the rear seats as well, because this is a station wagon, so people are going to use these as family cars, very fast family cars. So again, we've got this diamond pattern quilting on the back with some Alcantara material, which is really nice. We've got some ISOFIX anchor points so that you can put some child seats here. And we've also got vents for the rear passengers, and they can also change the temperature. And then at the rear, we've also got 2 USB ports and a cigarette port.
And look at the back of these carbon buckets.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, isn't it?
That's so good, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's, again, matte carbon, which matches everything else on the outside. I think Audi, again, does a really good job in terms of design and matching all the materials.
Yeah. So yeah, first impression driving the RS4, it's a really lovely place to be, honestly. It's really quiet, it rides really well. Even though this suspension is lowered all the way down, it rides really, really well just when you're driving it around. And there is a big difference between comfort mode and dynamic mode. So you can instantly see that the transmission is holding gears at around 1,000 to 1,500 RPM rather than 2,000 to 3,000 RPM. And the exhaust quietens down quite a bit.
Yeah, the valve is not open, so it feels really quiet in here.
Yeah, it's just like a normal, comfy, luxury Audi.
But they did say that for the competition, they took away some of the insulation.
Yes.
So in terms of sound, you definitely hear a bit more in this car compared to the standard version.
But then when you're in RS mode...
Right now we're in RS mode. You can hear the exhaust burble.
it's still pretty quick, yeah.
Oh man, it sounds really good.
And the overrun as well.
Overrun, so good. Wow, listen to that. Awesome sound.
Hilarious.
Yeah. Obviously, it's a very quick car.
Yes. Fast. Yes.
It's got 444 horsepower and 600 Newton meters of torque.
Yeah, and four-wheel drive, don't forget, right?
Four-wheel drive.
It kind of feels like a really well-planted, well-set-up front-wheel drive car when you're going through the corners in a good way, because a lot of front-wheel drive cars actually give you a lot of confidence through the corners. But you can, because of the four-wheel drive system, you can still put down almost 450 horsepower in the corners.
And the rear will hook up.
Yeah, and it still grips. Yeah. And I think the response is better, because I remember we drove the other RS4 really early on, right?
The pre-facelift.
The pre-facelift. And the response definitely wasn't as good as this.
Like this. I really have to commend Audi for the quality of the interior.
Yeah.
The quality of the interior is so premium and really, really nice.
It does feel really good.
And I do really like the matte finish of the carbon fiber.
Yep.
Makes this car feels more special to be inside.
Yep.
And because this is a RS4, the size is not that big.
Yeah.
So it's perfect for city driving,
and
for your daily commute,
and it doesn't,
for parking.
Yeah, it doesn't feel big because it still feels quite agile. Like you turn the steering wheel and it does do everything that you're wanting it to do.
Yes.
So it feels definitely like a little sports car.
And these carbon seats, they are awesome, eh? They're really nice. Not just the looks. They perform really well, and it's quite comfy.
Yeah, it's
quite
pretty
comfortable.
comfy.
Yeah. It's quite soft actually.
Yeah.
So you can take this on long journeys definitely without breaking your back.
Yes.
So we are on a back road. We are in RS mode right now.
Yep. And I tell you what, it is a bucket of fun, this car.
Oh man.
This is so good.
It's so flat, hey. When you're cornering, it stays very, very flat.
Yeah, and it's so fast. Like I think 444 horsepower. It doesn't feel like 444 horsepower.
How's the handling?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, it's got really, really good handling, really, really good body control. It stays so flat through the corners.
Thanks to the different damping, eh?
Yeah.
Thanks to the suspension.
And it still rides really well. It gives you a lot of confidence. It really makes you feel like you can push through the corners. Yeah.
What about the steering feel?
It's a little bit numb, I have to say, but it actually has the right weight, and it definitely turns in really quick. Like this response is fast, but I think just because of this electronic steering rack, there's not a huge amount of sort of feedback and feel. But honestly, for a car like this is already really, really impressive. Like the way that you can chuck it through the corners, and you can really have a lot of fun through the corners as well. Like you don't have to be going that fast. You can actually just have a bit of fun with this,
Right.
which is great.
Yeah.
And I think the milltek exhaust definitely adds to that.
The emotional
Exactly.
feeling of driving this car, isn't it?
Yeah. Honestly, I can see why people love these cars, because in the real world, this is probably faster than any supercar that you can take around here.
I agree. It's four-wheel drive. You can actually carry a lot of speed into these corners,
Yep, you can.
And it'll still have the grip.
Yep.
And be able to handle that G-force. Wow. Wow.
Good brakes, eh?
Wow. You do feel a little bit of understeer though.
A little bit.
Because of the front engine setup.
Yep.
As we saw in the engine bay, the engine actually sits in front of the front axle.
Yeah, quite far forward.
Quite far forward. So there's a lot of weight in the front.
Yeah.
So if you go into a corner quick, you brake, all the weight is going to the front. So obviously that's going to give you a little bit of understeer if you are pushing it too hard. Wow, the shifting is actually... Wow, pickup speed really quick. And
So fast.
The shift speed is actually decent.
It's pretty good, yeah. And it's pretty smooth. The shifting's actually really nice.
And I like the pop when you change gear, isn't it?
Yeah. The overrun sounds and
It's a very exciting car to drive quickly.
Yes.
And it's so capable. Wow.
And the V6 sounds.
Very, very good. Very impressive.
Very safe, fast. You know, it's not very scary at all. Even as a passenger,
Yes.
you actually don't feel like it's gonna lose traction or it's gonna do anything weird or it's gonna misbehave. It's a very approachable fast car.
Yes. I actually think this car, in terms of drivability, sportiness, it's probably a little bit better than the RS6.
Yeah.
Because the RS6 is actually quite big, quite heavy,
That's
more
right.
like an estate car.
It's more of a cruiser.
Yes.
Not really a sports car.
Yes.
And obviously the RS6 is more expensive. It's 250,000.
Much more expensive.
Whereas this, if you don't get the competition, it's 170, I think, around about. So there's quite a big gap between the two, actually.
So you can get one of these and one Type R, Civic Type R,
Or-
for the price of a RS6.
Or one of these, and your dream car, a Mustang, almost.
All right, Luan, what do you think?
Wow, I mean, it's really impressive, Frank. It's a really, really good car. It's so capable and fast and confidence-inspiring, and it's so practical and comfortable as well, right?
Yeah, it's an amazing piece of engineering. From
really
Germany.
impressive. Yeah, really impressive. Really impressive. I'm so impressed that I would actually consider buying one of these in the future, to be honest. Yeah,
and I think with the competition model also, it's quite bang for buck.
Yeah.
Because you get all these upgrades for only about 15,000 more
15,000,
compared to the normal RS4.
Yeah.
If you can call it normal.
Now this one has the milltek exhaust and the milltek intake, and that adds a little bit more to the price. I think it's another $14,000.
Yeah.
But obviously those are optional. But I think probably worth it, you know, if you get one of these. It sounds really, really good.
Really good. Make this car much more emotional when you're driving it.
And it really opens up that V6 noise, you know, that really high-pitched V6.
It does.
So,
it does.
yeah.
And special thanks to Gil Trap Audi North Shore for lending us this car to review and drive. So our channel has just hit 50,000 subscribers.
Yes.
Thank you guys for watching, supporting us. We'll keep going with your support. So please subscribe and like this video if you can, and hope to see you in another video of ours.
With more cool cars.